What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Polestar. So right now it is selling off quite hard. I want to go over why it's selling off, if it's justified or not, go over some of the data points and talk on what it's all saying. But before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So it actually has been quite a while since I've done a Polestar video or an update. But with today's selling off and a new 52-week and all-time low created, I felt like it was justified just to kind of go over some of the data points and things like that. But right now it is down 7.99%, has absolutely nothing to do with Polestar specifically because there's been no PR, no SEC filings coming out today, the last being their earnings, which was at the beginning of the month essentially. But the only reason why it's going down is just because of an analyst. And I've already expressed my kind of displeasure on analysts in the past, especially when it comes down to Polestar. A lot of them don't really like it whatsoever. But Dan Levy from Barclays did give a sell rating, downgraded in fact, to a $3 price target. So, of course, that is causing everyone to panic, mass panic, especially after their earnings, which some people had some issues with. I think the fact that they did reiterate their targets and it wasn't overly bad, but once again, people are blowing everything out of proportion, and that's also one thing that I've also said on almost every one of my videos, that I actually do really like their operations, their business. Just for whatever reason, institutions never seem to really want to buy it. So these are all the transactions that have occurred on the secondary market, and surprisingly, there's only 2 today, and even 1 yesterday. So big money is just not getting into Polestar as they once were several months ago when this was at like $6 per se. So when it comes down to it, like I said, analysts are really heavily regarded as gods essentially for some reason. So an analyst downgrades a stock and it just goes down 8%. That just doesn't make sense, especially when that analyst only has a 46% success rating. Something just doesn't add up. And then Andre Shepard from Cantor Fitzgerald did give a $6 target or price target that was done 6 days ago. They have a 20% success rating. And then Jamie Perez from RF Lafferty, $6 days ago, $9 price target, and they have a 27% success rating. And it's really funny. A lot of these analysts, these same ones, jump around to a lot of different stocks, but generally all in the whole EV sector. So whether it be with Rivian, Lucid, but clearly look at these analyst ratings, they're absolutely horrible. I have no idea why does anyone listen to any of these people, but again, this is why I decided to do a video today, is just looking at a lot of the data points. This is crazy. So when it comes down to comparing companies per se, you really want to look at different things on how much they're actually burning, how much they're generating as far as revenue. And one very good thing to kind of look at is their PS ratio. So right now, Polestar's PS ratio is 2.5. Yes, that is crazy, crazy low. In fact, lower than even technically Tesla. And just to put it in comparison, actually I'll touch on this for a second as well. So the future PS is 1.8. So the future is just so much more discounted. It's absolutely crazy. And just to put it in perspective, so I'll show you Lucid just to compare. So once again, 2.5 and 1.8, and looking at Lucid's multiples, 18.6 and 11. So that is crazy high. And even looking at, for instance, Rivian. So Rivian right here, the multiples, 7.4 and then 4 for the future. So Polestar in comparison is like well below its intrinsic value. And even going back over to Interactive Brokers, looking under the right here, so the latest Morningstar report does have the fair market value for Polestar being $5.36, which if you kind of go back to a lot of the multiples, yeah, technically 2 or 3x based on these prices would put Polestar similar to what Rivian's at. So, but yet Polestar is doing a phenomenal job. They've said that there's a lot of demand. Of course, they're having a little bit of difficulty in the States, but that's obviously fair to assume for any non-American company, that you always get those currency issues and currency risk and various things like that. But once again, let me know your thoughts on Polestar and give yourself a shout out in the comments below if you have been buying. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of people on Twitter, for instance, saying that, you know what, I've held for the last, I don't know, 2 years or whatever else it was, or like a long time, but this is it. This is it. I'm done. So it's kind of really, really sad to see that Polestar is just not really performing to what a lot of people's expectations are. But also at the same time, a lot of the whole EV market is just suffering at the same time. So let me know your thoughts on that. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as latest Morningstar reports, analyst ratings, analyst forecasts, everything under the sun, take a look at Interactive Brokers, completely free to have all of this. So link in the description below and also the comments. But moving on, talking on some data points. So options. So $170,000 in calls being purchased versus $56,000 in puts. So based on this information, clearly people are anticipating Polestar to trend up. And when it comes down to the options activity, it is anticipated to be above the $3 range by the end of next week. So a little bit more of a bouncing up, if that makes sense. And as far as puts, this is why I do feel that it is a very big overreaction, because even looking at the puts, there's nothing below 250. So people are not anticipating for it to go below 250. So once again, take that all with a grain of salt, because options activity is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. And as well, I am not a financial advisor. But when it comes down to big money, they haven't been getting in clearly. And as far as this, these are all the transactions that have occurred on the dark pool. Dark pool is very much linked to shorting, so people don't generally like that, but I'll talk on what shorts are doing. And just on a side note, and just for transparency purposes, I'm not here saying that Polestar is going to have a squeeze by any means. Definitely not. And of course, I think there is some glitches as well, even happening with Ortex. But I'll give you a good overview of at least what is happening today, because it does show short score is 0. So that's obviously a glitch. Utilization is 78.9%. Looking right here, it does show shorts are increasing 237,000 shares. So the fact that they are increasing on a very much red day shows that it's kind of justified and that they're trying to take advantage of the scenario. 10.33 million shares overall are being shorted, and of course it just shows NA for the short interest. So a glitch or something happening behind the scenes. Cost to borrow average is 10.69% as well. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, as far as what might be coming next. So with it being at $2.88, it is exactly on this mark right here. So this S2. So right now, as it stands, it is currently trading between this S3 and this S2. So $2.36 is a very strong support. And then depending on if it closes above it or not, you kind of just will have that as the support or resistance, and then $3.21 is the very strong resistance above that. So you kind of just have to wait and see exactly where Polestar does land. But like I mentioned, I do feel that a lot of the data points are all signaling that this is just an overreaction, with the exception of shorts like I mentioned. But definitely I'd like to say that this will go up, but technically based on just history and how things are performing, even though operationally they've been doing a fairly good job, just the fact that it did go from roughly around $5 to here in a span of just like 2-3 months, it's absolutely crazy. So when Polestar does sell off, it does sell off very, very fast. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Looking at the momentum indicator shows number of retail investors have been getting out. So like I mentioned about that, a lot of people on Twitter just saying that they're completely done with Polestar, unfortunately. And looking at stochastic, it is currently at 5. So a little bit more oversold in that regard, but there is no defined trend. So a lot of interesting stuff happening with Polestar. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, for instance, though. And what is your take on their recent earnings? I'll do a dedicated video if there's obviously a lot of people wanting it. Fortunately, I didn't really live stream it. They always like to do it very, very early. So once again, I can definitely take a look at that. I kind of quickly scanned through it. It seemed okay to me, but who am I to judge? I'm not a financial advisor. So once again, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And take advantage of this promo. Just was launched starting on September the 1st. Completely free to sign up for an account with Moomoo, which also does offer $0 commission, free level 2 trading. But if you throw $100 at it, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock can be valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. And the link to that is in the description below and also the comments. So take advantage. With that said, though, I appreciate you all watching.